Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another Create a Sim video. This obviously is part of the Pokemon to CAS series, and if you paid attention to the title before you clicked on the video, you know this is Meowth. But this Meowth is multiple Meowths. As in, I try to do every form of the Meowth. The regular Meowth, the first Meowth that we ever seen, the Alolan Meowth, and the Galarian Meowth. Meowth. Just gonna say a lot of Meowth. Anyway, hope you're looking forward to this video. Let's get on in. Obviously, right now, there's already a bit. I just said obviously a whole lot. Obviously. There's already a sim being made. This is going to be the regular Meowth. Before I even, did this, recording part of this, I actually did make, a rough base for all three of them, because I wanted there to be at least some similarities between the three, almost like you could tell that maybe there was some relation between them. Being transferred into Sims, you could say either they were siblings or cousins, or something along the lines. At least that there's, some similarities to them that you can sort of almost tell that there's some sort of connection somehow. So I did make, a base, I saved it to my gallery, and then brought it back into the Sims, into the CAS mode 2 more times, so I had 3 to start off with, and go from there. Now, with the main one, I did do a little bit of tweaking, but I probably did the less tweaking with the regular or main Meowth. I don't know how to say the first forms, because, the first ones are usually just called, Meowth, or Raichu, or whatever it may be, the different ones that have now different forms. But then, the new forms, they're like Alolan or Galarian, which I like that they did that. It's definitely, I think it makes sense, because going from different places, certain creatures and things like that would probably change and adapt, and it makes sense, and I'm glad that they did it. But at the same time, sometimes I'm confused on whether or not to just call the original, the regular, plain. I don't really know what to go with, but the first Meowth that came across, the regular one that was part of Gen 1, so this Meowth has been around for a while. With him, and I just randomly chose the genders, by the way. I was just like, I at least want one to be female, and I did try to do 2 males, partially because when I think of Meowth, I'm not gonna lie, I partially think of Meowth from Team Rocket. So, and that Meowth has, I guess technically is a male. Did they ever, I'm pretty sure it's male. It's just not that it has a masculine voice. I'm pretty sure he is male. But anyway, also I don't make a whole lot of male Sims, so I do want to try to force myself to make some of them as males instead of females, because I'm so easy to lean to making a female version. One, I have more CC and stuff, and I can get a little bit more creative sometimes, and I just have an easier time with the females and trying to get my little sort of creative vision going where I wanted to. I will say with the Galarian Meowth, I definitely wanted to go male, even if I wasn't gonna go male on this first one. I definitely was gonna go male on him, because there was certain hairs, and I wanted to give a beard to a certain extent, so I wanted to do male on that one. But with the regular one here, I am gonna say that he is not one of my favorite Sims that I've done so far in the Pokemon realm, whether you're counting just Series 2 or both Series 1 and 2. He's not my least favorite, though, that I've made from the Pokemon to Sims, but he's not he's definitely not up there. And I actually had 2 go-arounds with him, because some footage messed up with the, first ones. Well, some footage was slightly messed up, but it wasn't too bad. I could have saved it, but technically my Sims game also got closed out. I forgot what happened. I don't know if the power went out. I actually don't remember, even though that was not too long ago. That says something about my memory sometimes. But yeah, I did actually lose the sim completely, so I only had the base left, so I had to redo it. And I will say, the second time around, what I had done to the first one, I liked the second one. And with him, which is already going to the next one. But with him, I was trying to not go too overly complicated and do him because he was the original, he was the regular one. I didn't want to do as much with him, but I did try to make sure to stick with golds because of the little pendant thing on his head. I forgot what it's actually called right now, but the little thing on his head was gold, so I tried to stick with that. And I did originally try to put something on his forehead, but nothing was really calling out to me. But the glasses was sort of my way of doing that. And also, I don't give Sims glasses too often, so he was the one who got chosen to get glasses. But now we're on to the Alolan form, and I will say, I realized about 2 days after I posted Zamazenta and oh gosh, someone actually commented and helped me pronounce that one a little bit better, but I'm messing up on this short little time frame here of saying it, but I realized I did not actually put a picture of the actual Pokemon on the video, and I didn't realize that until after I already had it posted, and people were already, like, watching it and commenting on it and stuff, so I apologize for that, but there will be pictures on this one. I wrote a little note to myself to remember to put the actual Pokemon's pictures down in the bottom left side of the screen. So, sorry about that, that I forgot on that one, but you should be seeing them down below. But anyway, this is the Alolan Meowth, and I was definitely not doing the Alolan, like, second evolution. I can't even say Persian, because Persian only exists in regular and Alolan form. The Galarian Meowth actually turns into Berserker, so it's not even a Persian at that point, so partially why I didn't do the final evolution instead of the first evolution. Because technically it slightly changes a whole lot more in the Galarian form. But also the Alolan Persian, I don't like that Pokemon at all. But anyway, so yeah, with the Alolan one, I decided to go with more feminine just because a lot of the, like, pictures and stuff and almost the way that sometimes it's portrayed, it's almost got a sass to it. And I don't know, I guess I just recreate sass and, like, certain things with more on the feminine side. Just in my brain, it made sense. But, I did take a while with her. Again, she is the female one, so that's part of the reason why I took a while with her. But Alolan Meowth is dark type, so I definitely wanted to go with what some would consider more like edgier or rebel or whatever. I personally don't think a lot of these things, like tattoos and stuff, a lot of people in my family are strongly against tattoos. They think they're wrong. You're a little on the dark side or whatever. I have 2 tattoos, so, you know, that says anything, but, I love tattoos, so, but yeah, that was my sort of train of thought, and also I do like tattoos, so I use it as an excuse to actually try to put tattoos, but the thing with tattoos is, I get especially with these Pokemon to CAS Sims, I've noticed that when I do try to give them tattoos, I get very, very particular on the tattoo, and I sift through the tattoos forever and ever. Also, one thing to mention, I probably should have already mentioned, her skin tone is definitely, I try to tend to stick to more normal skin tones, but every once in a while, there's that Pokemon, when I've done this, that I'm just like, I can't give them a normal skin tone. I have to go for this skin tone that is definitely not normal. But for this one, I was just like, I can't. I have to go with the skin tone that is like this grayish color, because I knew that I had it in my game. And also, it just seemed like it was calling to me. So, I had to give her that skin tone. It may not be that normal, but honestly, in my little playing world of my Sims, I've pretty much said that everything is normal, like random hair colors, different skin tones that are definitely, like, not your typical skin tone. It's normal. It's normal in my little Sims world, so we're just gonna, go with that. But as for her hair, I definitely was wanting to try to go for more grays, blacks, and whites. For the most part, there isn't a whole lot of white necessarily, but I did eventually come across this one hair that didn't have white. And white isn't a strong color to use for the Alolan Meowth, but at first I was originally, like, thinking, like, Well, I mean, I could always try to have a white just so that it pops off a little bit more, but I came across this hair and I was like, I sort of really love this hair on her. So I had to give it to her. And I also was trying, like, headbands and head stuff on her as well, just because the fact that, you know, the whole little pendant and stuff on the forehead. But I eventually chose to go with this little gold, like, little mark on the head. I think I give a similar one, but in black, to the Galarian Meowth. But I didn't give one to the regular one. But again, I wanted him to be more plain and sort of eh. I wanted the other two to stick out more, basically. And what's funny is I probably, in terms of Pokemon, I do like the Alolan Meowth, but the Alolan Persian sets the Alolan Meowth down so far in the list of Pokemon I liking. Just knowing it turns into that thing, I'm just like, ugh. Ugh. So, going in, Meowth, regular Meowth, the original Meowth, is my favorite Meowth. Oddly enough, my favorite two are the Alolan and Galarian in the Sim version. So, the ones that are not my favorites in Pokemon are my favorite in this. And I actually really, really like how the Galarian one turns out, which he will be popping up very shortly. But again, I take a while when it comes to the female Sims. I'm just like, so many options, so many things I can do. And obviously right now I'm giving her clothes. Again, sticking with like dark tones, black, just because she's a dark type. Black is usually associated with dark, so wanted to make sure to keep her black colors and, like, you know, outfit. That's the word. Clothes. Yeah, no. So I was going through and I had sort of an idea, but then at the same time I have so much stuff. I was like, well, let me keep trying this. Let me try this. Let me try this. Well, I don't know. Do I want to wear a skirt? I sort of want to wear a skirt. I think I mainly only looked at skirts. I don't actually remember if I for surely tried any pants or anything on her, but I was definitely more going through skirts, and then I was like, ooh, the fishnet stockings that go above the waist that's usually up above the pants or skirt in this case. Let me try those on, and I like those, which you probably, you know, you don't see them yet. I'm still going through the skirts and things. But yeah, I was just like, black on black on black on black. Black clothes everywhere. But I love her. But I also really like black clothes, so that's my most common color of clothes. So that also may be why. But I do really, really like how she turned out. I was definitely more excited with how she ended than with how the regular Meowth. And I really wish that I could have tried with the regular Meowth more, but I did. I did try, but nothing was clicking to me. Like, nothing was just screaming out to me for that one, necessarily. And so eventually I just sort of settled, basically. But with her and eventually the Galarian one, things were, like, calling out to me. And I was like, yes, yes, that works. I love that. Yes, that's fitting. I like. So it just sort of flowed better, and that's probably why they turned out a whole lot better. But, yeah. Anyway, the Galarian form should be about to come up, and it's hard for me to choose in between him and the Alolan one, which turned out better in my opinion, which one I ended up liking. But I will say with him, not only, I mean, again, it's probably partially because I don't have as much male CC as female CC. There's just not as much male CC out there as there female CC in the first place. Much less getting things that you actually like and want to use in your game. But with him, I had a very, very strong thought process immediately going into the game before, like, a lot of these, sometimes I just know, like, one particular item that I for surely want to use, or, like, sort of the vibe I'm going for, so I have, like, a rough estimate of what I'm going for. Some of them I have no estimate on what I'm going for. But with him, I was pretty strong on what I wanted to do with him. There was a hair that I really wanted to give him. I wanted to make sure he had a beard. I wanted to give him, like, a more of a roughened look, because, you know, the Galarian Meowth is, like, Viking. That's what it screams, and it basically has a beard, a lot of hair going on, so I wanted him to have a lot of hair going on, but at the same time, I wanted it to look good. So I already had a lot of these things, like, in my head. I gave him scars. One thing I didn't mention, I think I give them all this one pointed tooth, just because, you know, cats have pointed tooth, and Meowth obviously is, like, based off of a cat, so that little pointed tooth should be for all of them. But as you can see, I did try a few hairs, but I put a few of them on just to make sure to see. But I was going for this braided one because something about this braided one, not only is it long hair, so that it's a lot of hair, it's controlled hair, but it is a lot of hair, but the way it's done, I really like it, and I've been wanting to use it on a guy, but also, to me, it sort of has that Viking feel to it, because a lot of times they had, like, at least the depictions I have seen, they have, like, little braids. Usually it's, like, scraggy hair with a few braids here and there, but at the same time, you know, braid, that's the point. At least there's a braid going across. And I did give him a beard. Obviously, the beard is not, like, as long and full and as Galarian Meowth's actual, like, beard-looking, like, thing is, but as far as terms of CC beards, I don't have a lot of them, because I don't use them as much as I probably should. But, yeah, I just don't have many options when it comes to the CC beards, and I really don't. Some of the Maxis match and some of the regular beards are okay, because, like, the way they look, like, some of the ones that are just, like, the light shadows or whatever, they're fine, but when it starts getting a little bit longer, I don't like them, and the one that's, like, really long, it's the hair that's, like, the clay hair, so I didn't want to use that, and this was, like, the best beard that I thought looked for him. So that's why I went with that one. As far as the clothes just, like, sort of clicked pretty quickly. Just sort of, it was definitely the rugged, more Viking-esque feel that I was sort of going for, with the more tannish colors. Tans, blacks, browns sort of going on for the Galarian Meowth. So everything for him just sort of clicked in. It clicked, and I love how he turned out. Truly do. And now we should be seeing the screenshots of them, and I do actually like the screenshots, even the regular Meowth. Some of the screenshots looked really good because of the facial expressions. To some degree, they almost all look like they have a slight slyness to them, like, you know, they could be scheming something, and that's sort of, in my head, a thing that Meowth is sort of well known for, is, like, the schemy thoughts that he has. So I really liked how they actually look in some of the screenshots. It's like they're planning something suspicious in their heads. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below which is your favorite. I hope you liked this video. If so, hit that lovely like button and make sure to subscribe so that you can see future Pokemon 2 Sims, creative Sims, that's a lot of Sims. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!